Hello Gravity Falls fans, and welcome back to Farewell Gravity Falls Month. Now, as that namesake would suggest, the show is indeed ending soon, so you're gonna need something new to fill that Gravity Falls shaped hole that's undoubtedly left in your heart. So I've got 6 TV shows for you guys today that I've been a big fan of either in the past or present that I think you guys will enjoy if you're a fan of Gravity Falls. Of course, nothing can replace Gravity Falls, but these shows might get you in the same zone. Now, all of my suggestions aren't animated TV series, but all the same, they're pretty damn cool. So in no particular order at all, let's get started. Now, of course, there are popular shows like Steven Universe or Adventure Time, which are pretty easy to recommend. But I don't want to give you guys the easy and obvious choices because you probably already watched those shows. Having said that, my first recommendation is Star vs. the Forces of Evil, which is in the same ballpark along with those other shows, but perhaps has a bit less buzz around it. Now, I'll admit, the jury is still out for me with this show. It's about 12 or 13 episodes in, and still hasn't done a whole lot with its greater plot, by which I mean a linear story. And I'm not saying that every cartoon has to have a serial linear storyline, but Star has a great potential to do a lot with its universe, which is pretty cool. The show is charming and very funny, combining that with the characters' abilities to actually travel through dimensions, and there's a lot there to love. If you're a Gravity Falls fan, Star vs. the Forces of Evil will have all of the magic, weird creatures, and whimsicality that you could ask for. And Alan Tudyk and Michael C. Hall provide the voices for the 2 main villains. I'm really pulling for the show to do something with its ample, fantastic, and magical landscape. And in the most recent episodes, we really are starting to head in that direction, so it's getting really interesting. And it is certainly something to tune in for if you're craving all of the magic and creatures and all that stuff in your animated life. Next up, I'm recommending Lost. If you haven't seen Lost, what, have you been living on a deserted island? No, but seriously, if you haven't seen Lost, well, I'm jealous that you've got this whole adventure in front of you. When a group of passengers on a plane crash land on an island, the survivors start to realize that they've got more in common than they probably should, and a bizarre mystery comes forth. Why are all of these people on the island? How are they connected? And just what the hell is actually going on? I've said in earlier reviews that Gravity Falls kind of filled a Lost-shaped hole in my heart. Lost is all about the pursuit of these mysteries and questions, and that thrilling and ongoing quest for answers is what had me drawing constant parallels between Lost and Gravity Falls. Of course, the whole answers portion is kind of up for debate when it comes to Lost. All the same, I think you should check it out. Continuing on, I want to recommend a small indie show that you probably haven't heard of, called The Simpsons. There's not a whole lot that I can tell you about The Simpsons that you probably don't already know, but perhaps you don't know that Alex Hirsch is a massive fan of The Simpsons, which he stated in many interviews. I too grew up as a massive fan of The Simpsons, which is why, for me, it's easy to see and feel the influence of The Simpsons on Gravity Falls. Coincidentally, or maybe not so coincidentally, Alex Hirsch now finds himself creating a series for Fox. So if you find Gravity Falls funny, then I think The Simpsons will be right up your alley humor-wise. Of course, I'm not saying you should watch all 586 episodes, but just check out a few. I bet you'll enjoy them and have a few laughs. In my recent drawing video, I compared my projected future Dipper to Flynn Carson, the main character from The Librarian, which started out as a series of movies all about a library that holds every mystical artifact and magical item of all time. Medusa's head, the Holy Grail, the magic lamp, Excalibur, you name it. The films were okay, but the TV series on TNT, which is pretty new, is actually a little bit better in my opinion. It's really fun, jam-packed with strange mysteries, and instantly reminded me of Gravity Falls. The character Flynn Carson, played by Noah Wyle, is still generally front and center. He's this genius scholar who was once thrust into being a sort of adventurer, and the movies sort of have him learning on the job. But in this series, he's more of a recurring character, while 4 new characters globetrot in pursuit of these magical items. The show is light and humorous, but also has some really cool through-line plot elements, and is a definite recommendation for any Gravity Falls fan in my book. Hey, it's an anime called Case Closed. This show plays out almost like an episode of CSI or something of the like. There's not much of a through-line plot, and it's kind of a new mystery each episode. But Case Closed is a really fun anime that you'll want to check out if you enjoy the mystery aspect of Gravity Falls. It's not got the mythological aspects to it, but if you enjoy puzzles and secrets, this is a can't-miss series for you. And if you're not already into anime, this is a pretty cool and easy gateway to get started. So join Conan, who is a full-grown detective trapped in a little kid's body, as he solves mysteries. Kind of a strange plot, but it makes for a very fun and mysterious show. As a kid, I used to watch some really random shows with my dad. In truth, I really didn't like a lot of them at the time, but I watched them anyways because usually that meant I could stay up later. One of those shows was The X-Files. I remember watching a bunch of episodes with my dad and being kind of bored until one episode that scared me out of my wits, and I don't think I ever watched it again until I was about 20 years old. A few years ago, I wanted to revisit the show because I was really craving some more paranormal stuff, and I've really been enjoying it. Truth is, I haven't made it through the whole show yet. I'm only about 3 seasons through. But even with just that portion, when it comes to The X-Files, you really can't help but to think of Gravity Falls. Aliens, conspiracies, and strange things of all sorts. Of all the entries, this one may be less suited for younger audiences due to its slower pace and some pretty scary stuff, but then again, it did air on Fox, I believe even in a primetime slot. So, watch at your own risk. That was a spooky alien. The X-Files is the paranormal show, so if the UFO and conspiracy aspect of Gravity Falls is of interest to you, then the X-Files may just be a must-see. It can be a bit slow at times, but the actual moments of paranormal activity are chilling and excellent. When I think of a show to recommend to someone who likes Gravity Falls, this is kind of the first one that pops into my mind, purely on vibe alone. Because I think, as Mulder and Dipper would both agree, the truth is out there. So there are 6 pretty different shows that I would recommend to you guys if you are soon to be missing Gravity Falls. Down in the comments, let me know what shows you would recommend. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it introduces you to something new that you can fall in love with. As for me, well, I'll see you guys in the next video.